I'm gonna soak up the sun, relax, shut my eyes, and just kick back and say, from the back, ignore the way, forget my name. I'm gonna getting older. If you're wrong to reminisce, the things you think you mad.
Hi, welcome to Musicians Wanted. My name is Cheyenne Ponte, and I'm joined by 1/3 of the band Robinwood. We have
Tom
and
Nathan.
thank you guys. So we're gonna listen to some of their music today, so stay tuned.
My name's Nathan. I'm in this band, Robinwood, with my friend Tom, and both of us are in another band called Regime. We do music, and we work. We work and do music, and that's it.
You do music.
And we have girlfriends sometimes, and then that's it. That's all we got.
How did you guys meet?
I think you have a better grasp on that one as well.
The line's pretty blurry.
I don't
'cause
get it.
my first memory of Tom, we were in Providence at this venue that doesn't exist anymore called the DV8, and we were both playing a Sumerian Records contest show with a band I used to be in called The Worst of Us, and his other project called Dim the Lights. We both played, and we were both awful. But I was dancing, and he came up to me and was like, "Bro, your moves are sick," and then we became friends.
Can you say a little bit more about the band?
Oh yeah, well, I play bass, Tom sings, there's 4 other members. There is our friend Derek on drums, Andrew, who does backing vocals and plays the synth and does all the samples and the sound and stuff like that, and the 2 guitar players are our friends Ethan and Adrian.
So why the name Robinwood? Where did that come from? Can I ask you?
Yeah. Robinwood is the name of my street, and I'm asking that anyone who's viewing this does not look it up on Google Maps.
Can you each describe your band in just one word? Let's start with you, Tom.
The word that I would use to describe Robinwood
Yeah.
is, I guess I'd just say fun. Like,
Fun.
we like bouncing around and like having a good time. It's serious. I think the songs are very serious, but for our live show and whatnot, we just kind of like to let loose and just enjoy the music. So.
Nice. How about you?
Self-preserving.
Nice.
It's about,
Okay.
for all Tom's lyrics, he writes all the lyrics and all the music. All of it's introspective, and it's about him working through stuff. Like bad stuff.
So I have another question. What would you describe your genre to be?
Indie rock, I'm always gonna stick by it because it's like a center, it's like a base, because we do like a ton of other things, but I think when it comes down to it, I'll always say indie rock because it's I guess that's just the best way to describe it for me, you know?
Because if we said we were an emo band, then all the kids in emo bands would stab us with
man.
forks. So we are, in fact, an indie rock band.
I'm in the place with my nails in the wall, thinking about how you and Michael must have come through it all. We just wanna be a product that you love. And this is all that I got, 'cause you can't change yourself to be something you're not, unless you break everything about yourself. Maybe you'll be so broken you can be someone else. I'm knocked out cold, falling asleep on every drive home, trying so hard not to swerve off the fucking road. You can't keep running away. Think about how well you're doing for somebody your age. You should appreciate what you're going on. Nothing separates. Nothing separates. I'm in the place of the beautiful face. The reason I'm dressed so slow, I think I'm gonna be late. Thinking of you and the thing you went through. Just trying to make it through the day. Woo! And I know that it's hard, but I'm trying. Can't keep running away. Think about how well you're doing for somebody your age. You should appreciate what you're going on. Nothing separates. I see the worst it gets, the faithless labor. I found the crushing blow I will do no favor. Go take the forward.
So Tom, can you tell me a little bit about the songwriting process? I know that you're the main songwriter in the band.
Essentially, everyone was going off to college, and everyone in my life was leaving and whatnot, and so I just started working, and I had this kind of really abusive relationship with someone at work and whatnot, and through kind of breaking myself at this job, I found that my relief was writing songs. I know that's the way a lot of people think, and that's really, really great, but it just really flowed out, and through that I kind of had these songs that didn't have a band or a name to them or anything like that. So I took the name of my street and I grabbed the members of Robinwood from my favorite musicians around the Boston area, and that's how
really
it's
cool.
Yeah, thank you. And that's how it's become a thing. It's just the only tough part is that in order to continue the writing process, I have to go back to these places that made me feel horrible.
So what do you mean by going back to these places? Is it like a state of being or an actual place that you go to?
It's funny you mention that because the newest song we put out called The Sea Separates is exactly about that. So the songs come more slow. But anyways, The Sea Separates is about this house I was working on in Hull, Massachusetts. And it was a beautiful house. We really we work in really upscale, big houses and whatnot. And I was on the balcony and looked out to the ocean, and the sea had separated. It was blue water and green water, and it was just a really beautiful sight.
Very literal.
Yeah, I can't say it even more. It's extremely literal. I would fall asleep driving home from these jobs because it was just so draining. You go work, you fall asleep, you go work and fall asleep. I know people do this every day, but I don't. It's not my thing. I just do it to kind of.
But it's nice that you write about that because a lot of people can relate.
Exactly.
And that's where you get fans. Yeah.
And
cool.
Gosh, I don't mean to talk so much about it, but one thing I think about all the time is that I have never heard of a band talking for tradespeople and whatnot. And I'm not a fan of being a tradesperson, but I could imagine that there are other people like me that are doing these things to make people proud, and they don't have anything to kind of resonate with. And I feel like Robinwood could be that sort of that sort of release for those type of people.
I've never been too close to you, but I never seem to stray. You're the only one who could make me cry, like all my pride was stripped away. And if you can feel it now, I'm just so happy that you stay. Your father left you at such a young age. I just don't want this love to fade away. Fade away. Fade away. Just please don't leave me. Remember when you spent all your money on my school and I was convinced I had better things to do? It's like all your efforts were wasted away. I still think about that every day. The lonely tree you grew for me. I like the matches you plant the seeds. And as I swore I would tend to your leaves, I swear I'll become the man you want me to be. Want me to be. Want me to be. Hey. Just please don't leave me. Hey.
The song we just played, called Fade Away, is actually the first Robinwood song I wrote before I even had like a name for the band or blah blah blah, or had any ideas. It was just like a form of venting. But the song is about me working these jobs I'm not good at, like working like trades and whatnot, and just kind of realizing I'm not good at it. But I didn't want the love that my dad, the newfound love, like he was really appreciative that I was doing it, you know what I mean? But I was at these jobs just like crying my eyes out and whatnot. Like it was bad. It was a bad scenario. But the song is essentially saying, I'm not good at this thing, and if I leave, I don't want like the love that we've created like to fade away. I love my dad obviously, but I didn't want that special bond to like go away. So that's what that song's about.
So something so not tragic, but something so hard for you created something even more incredible.
I love that song. Like that has been my biggest thing with Robinwood so far, is that like any other music thing that I've done, like not talking down to any of the other bands I'm in, like I don't really listen to as much. Robinwood I listen to like every other day and enjoy it, which is just completely strange to me. It just feels like it wasn't me who wrote the songs. It was like this being I wish I could be, like a strong guy and stuff like that. So it's kind of tough to write more songs because it's hard to get back into that state of mind.
So before you go on stage, do you have like a pre-show ritual?
He does, because he always tries to rile us up and like get us together. And
I don't know if I have a ritual so much. It's just when we're about to play, I get exhausted. I get tired and I'm ready. I'm ready to go to bed. So I just do everything in my power to like wake myself up. But then while we're like right before we play the first note, I look like in regime, like I look to my left and to my right and see Tom and the guitar player Adam, and like I look at everyone with their back turned to the audience, and I'm like, let's do this.
Do you have a dream venue that you'd like to play in someday?
Here in Massachusetts, we have the Palladium. That's where all the big metal shows like for us happen out in Worcester, and to play downstairs main stage on the Palladium has been my dream since I was a kid.
So do you guys have any musical inspiration that you draw from when you're playing or when you're writing?
The influence I draw before I had my own direction, like bands like Deftones and a band called Kublai Khan, another band called Villains. Those were my lyrical and stage presence wise inspirations before I found my own little niche after doing this for quite a while.
That's
But
cool.
I have a lot of, I don't mean to get weird, but I just have a lot of like personal problems mentally, and I bring them to the forefront as if I were an animal when I perform. And I let that version of myself exist in the real world for however long I do that, and then come back to the ground.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Famous. Next question, please. I don't even want to deal with that.
Okay, if you could eat one food for the rest of your life,
Ooh, I love these
just one
questions.
food. You first.
We both love
What
food
would
a
it be?
lot.
Like a style of food or one
food.
One food.
Oh my god,
One
like
thing.
barbecue wings every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah?
I love barbecue
Can't
and
go wrong.
chicken and
Boneless.
wings.
Can't
And,
go
yeah,
wrong.
I guess boneless wings, because bones are good, but just I just wanna
You just wanna.
swallow
totally
8 of
get
them
that.
at once.
Yeah, I totally get that.
So tell us a little bit about your musician lifestyle. Rock and roll. Tell me about it.
Well, I can't speak for Tom, but everything in my life has fallen by the wayside to music, because I am just trying to do that with my life, because I tried to do sports, I tried to be in school, I tried to like have a job, like I'm not good at anything. Like this is like the one thing I sort of have a handle on. So I just play music, I write music, I promote music, I talk to people about shows and tours and merch deals, and can we get this, can we get that, can we do that, do you want to come to the show, like all day every day. That's all I do. It's
Nice.
all I can really, I don't know, it's the one thing that makes some amount of sense to me.
That's pretty cool. At least you found that. How about you, Tom?
Through doing this music thing, I find that a beautiful thing about it is touring and traveling and whatnot, because just Nathan and I, aside from like the bands we mentioned and stuff like that, well obviously when we're touring we're in these bands, but we've just like done a lot of traveling and like a lot of sweaty hours and cramped cars and whatnot, like to Florida twice.
So, touring. Tell me more about touring.
There is an insane amount of lizards in Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
There's a lot of
I
lizards.
agree. Yeah.
Oh dude, I can
And
tell
they're
my-
huge. They're not
Dude,
like
that did
normal.
not happen, no.
Oh,
That
oh,
did
he's
not
saying,
happen.
what? I ran over a crocodile
No, we
in
didn't.
Georgia.
No, we didn't.
That happened. It was like 2 in the morning,
were
and I was like road like blah blah, and I ran over something, and I knew it was a crocodile, but it ran away because we went back to go look at it, and it was gone.
But no, yeah,
know you were
he backed
not,
up like
sleeping
1,000
and
feet.
dreaming.
No, I knew it was
We
real.
backed up 1,000 feet, and he was like, "Where is it?" And I'm like, "There was no crocodile." And he's like, "It just went into the water. It just ran away." And I was like, "Tom,
It
was
did.
no
It was real. So the song "The First Day of Spring" actually has like a pretty cool story to it, because it's not really talked about in the song, whereas like the other songs that we have like kind of allude to the meaning of the title within the lyrics of that song. But for the first day of spring, I had quit my difficult job that I was working, and I got like a really no risk, like just a stupid job afterwards. I don't want to name drop what I was doing because I don't want to talk
Right.
bad to these people, but it was just a stupid job. No one really cared about it anyways, although I did show up on time, I did my thing anyways. So it was just a couple months I was just living and working this job, and no one was really proud of me for doing it and whatnot. And what happened is the first day of spring came around, and I went outside to go take my break, and the sun shined on my face. It was the first warm day of like just in a long time.
Yeah.
And when the sun shined on my face, I had one of those like "That's So Raven" moments where you're just like, you get taken back and like or you have a vision or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
My eyes just like blanked out, and all I could imagine was me shoveling dirt off of my boss's truck, the boss I really hated, that I did not get along with at all. And because the sun like beating down on me on that hot day working with my boss was the same like sort of sun that beat down on me on the first day of spring, and I just started bawling my eyes out crying. And I just remembered just like calling like my mom and just like the people I love in my life and tell them how much I like appreciate like the relationships I have with them, and that they would stick through with me like through the hard times that like I had dealt with and whatnot. And so that's what that song is about. It's about just like just how just gosh just like the sun beating on your face can take you back and make you feel a sort of way. So
yeah,
that, yeah.
So it's a feeling.
Yeah, definitely.
Remember when I called you on that summer day, and I asked if it's okay if I run away. Leave a note in the glove box, and what it'll say is I'm going home. I'm gonna soak up the sun, relax, shut my eyes, and just kick back and say, from the back, ignore the way, forget my name. I'm getting older. Is it wrong to reminisce the things you think you meant? Do you think you can make it through the summer? I remember the day when the sun kissed my skin, and it's been such a long, good winter. I want to tell you I love you on the first day of spring. I said I never go back. No, no. You've been so far away, and I can't tell if they're fucking from back. I'm still trying to figure it out. Do you think you can make it through the summer? I remember the days when the sun kissed my skin, and it's been such a long, cool winter. I wanna tell you I love you on the first